Hey, so that timeline that I did, that was the phantom matrix down the bottom, and it was the explanation of the structure of the universe, um, the structure of your avatar and how it works. Um, uh, so if you've got a body, you should probably know how it works, how to get the best out of it. So this is a lot of the stuff that they've not wanted us to know. So I'll screen share. Okay, so fields of consciousness are made up of emotion, sound, and vibration. That is emotion that comes in down through a black hole, and it can just go straight over, and there you are there. Hz are hertz, the frequency. Or you can, do a little input of yourself there. So this is sort of the entire quantum structure of the plasma field. Energy follows thought. So it's the manifestation field, the plasma and gravitational field. And so at all times there are multiple realities in play within that quantum field. Too much time spent in one particular frequency will crystallize. So it's something that you need to be willing to look at each moment. And we do that by being an observer rather than being in reaction. Marina Jacobi has a channel on YouTube. You can go watch. She has a series that is channeled through from the Council of Nine. And it's very helpful. It's very practical information. And so it's kind of like this stuff. So if you wanted to read a bit more of that, and you can join in on her webinars, which is great, and ask questions. So there are parallel realities oscillating constantly. There is always duality, and there is free will. So it's the universal unified field of cosmic source. Remain in a positive reality in each moment. So you can be positive or you can be negative. Like it's 1 + 1 = 3. And again, remember we were on the phantom matrix, we were talking about gravity being magnetism and electricity. So gravity is a myth. And then we touched on, no, that's another timeline. I'm sort of deep in the galactic stuff now, the amount of universes and the dimensions and the densities and stargates, and kind of a brief explanation of what they are. You can look up and find stuff on Masonic string theory, but there are 15 dimensions. They sort of go in like blocks of 3. One being personality, another being soul, monadic, and then Christos. Dimension 1, Earth. 2, animals. 3, the physical human. 4th is the astral plane, intuition, telepathy. 5th is heart resonance, possibilities of other worlds. 6th dimension, traveling forward and back in time. So the indigos that are coming in now are coming in with 6-strand DNA. They have to activate 4 and 5 to get there. But that's the timeline I'm working on right now. So I'll just keep this kind of really simple. So Earth has lots of chakras or chakras. We have chakras too in our body. Dimensions are perceptions of reality. The crown chakra is Mount Kailash in Tibet. The third eye is the Tor at Glastonbury. The throat is Mount Sinai in Giza, Egypt. The heart chakra is Glastonbury, Stonehenge, and also Maui is also considered heart too. Solar plexus Uluru, Cartajuta in Australia. The sacral is Lake Titicaca in Peru, and the root chakra is Mount Shasta in California. So meditation, if people, and Joe Dispenza, if you could get to spend any time with him or do any study with him, is awesome. I was hearing about an experience last night where someone spent a week with him in Dubai. Sounds pretty amazing. Meditation is simply learning how to focus. Like maybe you can, I don't know, you could teach your child, you can teach it, like just look at the tip of the pen. That's like the Steiner thing they do at school, isn't it? Look at the tip of the pencil for 5 minutes. And so if you can't focus, you can't meditate. Everyone thinks you clear your mind and all that. It's not about that at all. And each human emotion has hurts. And so I'll line this up with this one. And this is really good to educate, I think, especially boys, or maybe just everyone, so that they've got a vocab on emotion. I've raised a son, so I've only got my own experience. I think girls have a much better handle on language at an earlier age than boys do. So these are the hurts of the feeling. So 20 hurts, shame is one of the lowest. Guilt 30, apathy 50, 75 for grief, 125 fear. Missed out anger there. 125 desire. Oh, fear's 100. Did a bit of a mess up there. 175 pride, 200 courage. Goes up high, neutrality, 250, willingness, 310, acceptance, 350, 400 for reason, 500 love, 540 joy, 600 peace, 700 enlightenment. So they're the raising of the frequency. So joy being the greatest, appreciation, gratitude, love, freedom. So when we were looking at those original little bubbles of hertz, if you can think of that vibration of love and joy, I see joy as being really light, you know. Passion, enthusiasm, belief, happiness, positive expectation, optimism, hopefulness, contentment, boredom, pessimism, frustration, irritation, impatience, overwhelm, disappointment, doubt, worry, blame, discouragement, anger, revenge, hatred, rage, jealousy, insecurity, guilt, unworthiness, grief, fear, depression, despair, powerlessness. So this is the Abraham Hicks emotional chart. There's a few floating around. But if you think about a situation like, I don't know, something, a trauma that's happened, or an ex or something, a relationship, and you feel really like angry about that, you're like, well, that's better than revenge. Actually, so I'm on the up, you know what I mean? Or, you know, still really worried about that. Well, that's better than blame. Okay, so that's, you know, so I found that interesting to understand that when I discovered that many, many years ago. I found it really helpful. Pin it in the bathroom for the kids to see. Your chakras. You've actually got more outside of your body too, but I did the color codes and I did the crystals as well. So ignore that, that's down the bottom. Like my little funky drawings of my bubble people. Yeah, you wouldn't believe I did 8 years at art school and got a master's, would you? Sorry, I'm just... base root chakra is 396 hertz. It is red jasper. Its color is red. Sacral is 417 hertz. So you have 7 major chakras, and you have 3 more above you. Sacral is citrine. Your solar plexus is yellow. It's 528 hertz, and it is tiger eye. Heart is 639 hertz. It's green, and it is rose quartz. Throat is 471 hertz. It's blue, and it's lapis lazuli. Beautiful stone. Third eye, 852 hertz. Its stone is amethyst, and it's violet. What do they call that? Indigo. I think they call that indigo, and that's violet. Crown, 963 hertz. White diamond. So that's kind of Christ consciousness, you know, where you're putting your energy up through your crown. There is a source field of information, and the stargates are open now. They're open every 25,552 years. So your chakra that sits above your head is white. It's your soul chakra. It's Mother of God. It is 1074 hertz. It is your 8th chakra. Seat of the soul. 1185 hertz. And then your top chart is your grounding chakra. It's like an anchor, physical. It represents wind, earth, fire, water. That's 1296 hertz. Then you have 21 minor chakras, and these are in these points that I've colored in. I'll show you this. I did a little drawing. Don't look at its profile. That is a little bubba. When it's born, all its chakras are wide open, and its aura is blue. And so kids' consciousness doesn't come in until they're about 7. So that's that saying, isn't it? Give me a boy till he's 7 and I'll show you the man. There's something in that, meaning it takes 7 years for consciousness to come in. And this is what I'll explain now. So each of those chakras, especially when they're coming into kids, it's really important. So this is the kind of work. If you've not done it, it's great to do. So consciousness fully comes in when a child is 7. The development of the chakras as the child grows. So root chakra points to earth. Usually around 4 years old, they start developing. Your ability to metabolize the earth's frequency. It is based on safety and survival and self-preservation. You know, like your family, your roots, your ties. It's the opposite of that is not feeling safe. You're on high alert from your body and earth. You know, sometimes if the umbilical cord is cut too soon, and they're so quick to cut that cord in this modern medical world, it has to stop. Lotus births, or at least a couple of hours, you know, if you don't want to carry the placenta around for a couple of days. It's no big deal. Baby kicks it off when it's ready. It's your endocrine glands. It's your muladhara. Your sacral comes in between the ages of 2 and 8 years old. It's a psychological one. It's related to your endocrine and your sexual organs. Fully conditioned into culture, society, you know, through movement, connectivity, creativity, and it's their emotional identity. Solar plexus between 18 and 42 months. It's pancreas gland, regulate blood sugar, enzyme to digest food, insulin, glucagon, intuition, confidence, strong feeling of who you are, where you're from, goals, dreams. You know, the flip side to that is, you know, shame, guilt, worry, what people think of you, draining your energy, Annapurna. Heart comes in, you know, 3.5 to 7 years old. It's the thymus gland, it's heart, lungs, it's circulatory system, it's love, it's social identity. The flip side to that is the grief, illusion, anger, anahata. Your throat chakra, between 7 and 12 years old, it's thyroid and parathyroid gland. It's communication, creative identity. It's flip side of that is denial, doubt, dishonesty, distrust. Throat chakra is speaking, being heard. Third eye comes in between 13 and 18 years old. It is eyes, pineal gland, pituitary. It's intuition, imagination. Flip side to that, deception, illusion, obsession. Crown chakra continues to come in throughout our lives. It's cerebral, it's pineal gland, it's central nervous system, it's self-awareness, it's realization, it's universal identity. And then we have a physical body, but we also have light bodies. So this is my drawing of a normal, healthy aura. So you have 5 emotional bodies. You have an ethereal body, so that's blue. I coloured that in blue. That's really close. It's an ethereal body. You have an emotional body, and that's kind of multicoloured. You have a yellow mental body. So that's your Merkaba, it's your aura, your vibration. You have multicoloured clouds of astral body too. Around you. And you have a green Merkaba. Now, you see this? That's really how big your green Merkaba is your heart Merkaba is massive. And when you come within 6 feet of someone, your Merkaba interacts with their Merkaba, and their Merkaba changes yours, and yours changes theirs. And then you sort of get like a separate one, like a shield almost. And here is your pineal Merkaba, which kind of looks a little bit like this, like they're rods that come out of your head. So for most people, their pineal is quite calcified because of the fluoride and food and thoughts and lack of movement, and that's what makes us really powerful. So that's that symbol that's, looks like a pine cone. Have you ever heard of a Lucia light? Go and have a little look at that. It'd be lucialight.com. We've got 2 in South Australia. Turns out a friend of mine's got one. They're amazing. Just do a search, whatever country you're in. They're from Austria, somewhere in Europe. 2 PhD guys, and it's a computer program. And it beams light onto your third eye, and it stimulates your pineal gland. And so you close your eyes, not let look at it, I had to look, and it fractals you. It's really helped with my meditation and sleep, and it's pretty incredible to do regular visits to Lucia Light. I'm told that if you've got a really calcified pineal gland, that you just see grey, you don't sort of see anything. But you can run the same program over and over again and have a completely different, so your pineal, like, creates it, like the DMT almost. You go on like a journey and listen to music, it's awesome. I'm digressing, all right. So a part of your emotional body and your Merkabas and what have you is about who you are, your truth, your authenticity. Not your ego, not your head mind, not who you think you are. Oath embodiment. It's how you deal with interactions, situations, circumstances, environments. Your conditions of life will determine all of this. Your integrity, your belief, your faith. Your observation, your tendencies, your discernments. Because all we are really is our word, our honour, isn't it, really, when it comes down to it. So food to help with this, because for this to all happen, you have to be healthy in your avatar. So eating organic fruits, making sure you're not eating food that's got glyphosate all over it. Eating balanced nuts, good fats, minerals, clean water. Incorporating fasting, cleansing, and breathing. Never breathe deep enough, do we? Water. Practice Kundalini. The Kriya, it's breathing. It's really cool. Any kind of breathing, just breathe. Water. Now, water holds memory. So, and if you know anything about Ayurveda, that's awesome, really cool to get into. That looks at everything as ether, air, fire, water, and earth. Again, I talked already about Kangen and reverse osmosis, and also distilled water, and reversing the polarities in it. That's another thing that Marina talks a lot about. 99% of the population are profoundly deficient in minerals because the soil is depleted. And so it should be about 40% of your diet. So if you're not incorporating minerals, like, that looks a bit weird, like that's full with minerals. So just getting lots and lots of minerals in all the time, super important. Movement. Now, this is really important. Right now, there's lots of mobility and stretching, range of joint motion, strength if you can keep it up, flexibility. There is cardiovascular fitness, spinal awareness. Keone does great ulu. Body, mind, spirit, the power in your body. So incorporating a little bit more time into your body and movement. Speaking of which, I'll be putting some more courses up on my website soon. Little plug, no. I'm actually a movement therapist, not like a timeliner. Yeah. Trauma. So deal with your trauma. As we are ascending, it is important to free the trauma, face it, deal with it, resolve it, let it go. It takes up too much space in your bandwidth and in your consciousness, and so you want to be light, okay? So triggers, knowing what triggers you. When you get triggered, it takes you out of your body, and then your body and your spirit are out of balance, and that is not good. It takes up space in your subconscious. So, you know, checking what are your old stories, what are your thoughts, what do you tell yourself? Who is it that tells you that? Like, it was always my mum, you know, and then me, it just became me. But where did it come from, you know? Kia only did a really good chat this morning on, and I've been guilty of this in my past, where you're just so unkind to yourself. That's that, you know, person in your head. Like, who is that person? And you must be kind. Those thoughts, don't have those thoughts. Don't, when you have those thoughts, you bring it into your field. Remember how I just explained it? Like, don't even think about people in your past. Like, not bad thought, not good thought. Just don't have it. Just be neutral. Just, because when you think of it, it pulls them into your field, and you don't want that. So you want to pull good things into your field. Trauma release exercises. Yeah, so I do TRE, which is trauma release movement, and create some new stories. You know, the cleanse. Now, I talked about the cleanse in the, kind of went a bit deep into the cleanse in the Phantom Matrix, the nanobots that are in the chemtrails, and parasites, which is also in a lot of food. And if you have quite a pH environment in your body, the parasites, they just thrive. So if you crave sugar, you've got a whole lot of parasites in your, are really hungry. Pure gum turpentine, and that's also, it'll up your pH level, which is awesome. Do it for 30 days. So the actual cleanse is, you do it for 30 days. You put 5 drops into brown sugar. I usually just put like a spoonful in a tiny little bowl and drop 5 drops of the pure gum turpentine. Pinus ellioti, there's a company in Australia called Holistic Eden. It's like $10 a bottle. It's no brainer. I was a bit scared to take it, you know. My son goes, "Are you taking paint things?" I'm like, "No, it's like from a plant." So the taste, the first couple of days, I was a bit like paint stripper almost, you know, but it went away after a couple of days and I didn't even notice it. So then just scoop up that sugar that's dropped in there, and then you can just swallow it with some water first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. And then parasites will come out to eat the sugar, don't they? And then they eat the Pinus ellioti, and they're like, and so every 5 days you up the drops. So you go 6 drops for 5 days, and then 7 drops for 5 days. And I was told, if you're kind of a couple of weeks in and you're doing okay, up the drops a bit more, maybe a bit quicker, like if you're tolerating it. I did, surprisingly, because I've got quite a sensitive stomach. And I'm not going to talk about what went down. You can discover that yourself. But it's interesting, definitely. You cleanse yourself. Predominantly, if you're a meat eater, you're going to have it more. I've got a pretty clean diet, so I didn't have anything major or radical go on. Yes, let's talk about that another time. Heavy metals. So we're all riddled with heavy metals, mercury, fillings, teeth, vaccines. I've unfortunately I've moved countries many times, and so I've had to vaccine a lot. So I'm mindful of regular heavy metal detoxing. I've had fire infrared sauna, but even hot baths also really good. Nice and flush. So I'll do nice and flush, jump up and down on a mini tram, and take some activated charcoal, and then go sit in the infrared sauna and sweat. And that's a pretty good protocol. Lymph is classic. You just pulverize a whole lemon and like skin and everything, and put it back into like a litre bottle of water with some flaxseed oil or some kind of oil, avocado, whatever oil you want, and drink a litre of that every day for 7 days on, and then go 7 days off, and that flushes your lymph. There's also another really good cleanse, which is just maple syrup, cayenne pepper, and water in a litre, and drink that, and that gives you enough sugars and nutrients to endure the fast a bit better. Because your gut is the most important part of your body. If you don't have a good gut, you're not in a good mood. It's about your bacteria. And so what you put in your stomach after you have been asleep for 8 hours is really important about creating good gut microbiome. It is so important. I can't tell you. Cannot stress it enough. But every 3 days you get a new gut. So if you do sort of like do not so well, then, you know, be kind and try again. So, you know, basic nutrition, understanding what your avatar needs and how it works. I notice lots of my A blood type friends are usually vegan. I'm O positive, so I'm good with bone broth and fish. I'm mindful where I source those things from. But you know, incorporating fulvic minerals, shilajit is awesome. Magnesium is really good for sleep and anxiety. Zinc, if you're a guy, you lose it when you're calm. Amino acids. Amino acids also really good for stimulating growth hormone levels. I can talk more about that. Glutathione, really good if you've had bad adrenals. Bacillus is just gut bacteria. Eat lots of leafy greens, herbs, drink herbs. And, you know, like kefir, milk kefir, or make, you know, SCOBY kombucha. And yeah, I know a lot of people eat for taste, but you actually need to eat for how you feel. And I know many people are drawn right now to really lighten up their bodies and cleanse and really get ready for all this. The energies are coming in, and so don't neglect the vessel, you know. I did a timeline on the Roman Empire where I declared that the breakdown of the entire civilization was because they had eradicated Eleusis. And Eleusis was a place that you would go to, and it was a big part of Greek culture. It was the base of all their teachings, the art, the democracy, philosophy, mystery, and it was what do they call it? Familiarizing yourself with the death, life, underworld. They call, you know, Persephone. I can do that timeline again if you like and explain it a bit easier. We've got quite a few plants that are hallucinogenic, and these are medicines, right? I think anyone who is going to be in any kind of position of leadership needs to have at least a minimum 3 hallucinogenic experiences. So I think they really need to bring Eleusis back in. So women, it was a temple, the place where you took it was as important as you know, what you were doing. It was almost sacrilegious to not do it there under the guidance of the women that were there. It's like taking ayahuasca and not going to South America. It's like, you know, the experience, isn't it? It's like, it's the medicine, it's what it's trying to teach you. And so back then, ergo was a big one that was used, and that was a fungus that grew on wheat plants. Of course, mushrooms, peyote, ayahuasca, DMT, which is dimethyltryptamine, salvia, betel nut, cannabis, Jimson weed. These don't make you hallucinate. These are just mind-altering drugs. Jimson weed and cocoa. This is plant wisdom. It's to teach. We are more than just skin and bone and mind. Cymatics. So have you seen the vibration, you know, when they vibrate water? Or even like the Masamoto photos of, yeah, we're water. So what you listen to is really important. It's the study of patterns that sound and frequency make on surfaces, you know, like sprinkling sand and then vibrating and patterns that they make. And language is frequency and vibration and emotion. Sounds, tones, frequencies. So eliminate negative words from your vocabulary. No, don't, can't, won't, wouldn't, shouldn't. Just be mindful of them. Quantum grammar. I know it's a little tricky to wrap your head around. It was a tough one for me. Steam would come out my ears and still does a little bit. But there's a process to learning that. Learn syntax first, then you understand that we've been taught the wrong grammar. And that's really powerful too. That's a whole other timeline. Yeah, so just remove those negative words from your language, and particularly ageist words. I'm a bit guilty of that as well, but I have awesome friends that pull me up all the time if I say something that ages me. Like, oh, like, get start whinging about, oh, like, yeah, no, watch out for that. It's language is part of your belief systems, Dreams. All right, so where do we go when we dream? Inner pictures made of light, imagination. Dreams represent portions of thoughts and experiences, both higher and future, lower and past dimensional fields of time continua. D4, low, middle, now, present moment streaming. D3, consciousness thought, patterns, forms. D2, past memories. D1, inner darkness. Dimensional fields come into view as light form in reality. It's your consciousness bringing into mental view, almost representing higher dimensional waves. I think you go up into the astral planes, isn't it, when you sleep? They still don't know why we need to sleep. I've got a few friends that are sleep specialists. So yeah, when you truly love yourself, your consciousness raises. Please, zero fear, zero fear. We are electrical beings on lunar cycles. So we have the power to lift the timelines. If you have a set of kidneys, you are in the field. And if you have any gifts, please show up and share them. If you're even here by vibration of watching this and you've made it this far through this video, then you're an indigo. And you're here to understand this stuff and understand what your purpose is. And, Earth needs a lot of help right now. And most importantly, know what nourishes you and know what depletes you. And that includes food, people, situations, places, sounds, words, medicine, food, nutrition, quiet time, detox. Watch what you say, think, hear, watch. I can't stress that enough. I really clamp down on that stuff. Okay. So your skin regenerates every 39 days. Your fat every 10 years. Your liver every 300 days. Your blood regenerates every 120 days. Your intestines are 5 days. Your hippocampal neurons between 20 and 30 years. Your bones, 10 years. Your gut is 3 days. Your teeth, they don't necessarily totally regenerate, okay? So you're like a whole new person, basically. At least every 10 years in your bones. I can feel it on my bones. So we are a free will. So we get to choose how we feel. That's what's amazed me so much about what's happened when I look around, is that it would seem that most people have absolutely and utterly zero control of what is going on inside their head. And it's the only thing we've got control of. We have free will. So a lot of people are brainwashed and don't even realize all this stuff, that they're in a phantom matrix. But you consciously create your own reality. You manifest it. The Earth vibrates 7.8. So Bruce Lipton does an awesome explanation of it. Like the cells. Each cell in your body has little hairs on it, and they're like the brains of the cell, and they get information. Like that whole thing of, oh, your dad had it, you're going to get it. No, that's crap. And so the hairs, brains inform the cell. And so we are like the little hairs of Earth. And so how we feel and what we're doing informs the Earth. That's why it's so important, the grid work. It's so important to have the vibration and put your feet on the ground in different places. So Earth is alive. we're a part of her. Okay, so feet on the ground, get outside, send some vibration down. Maybe she'll forgive us. So that's the manifestation quantum source field. Good, isn't it? I've got a little quantum grammar sitting there. So yeah, it's the quantum. It's all quantum, baby. And it's easy to learn. So get this, stop share. There we go. All right. So next will be, well, I've got a galactic one running. I can go through that. It's very complicated though. Maybe I might not deliver it very well. I'm working on a timeline at the moment that is the last 100 years of everything that's been happening in the 3D and what was really happening galactically. Because you say to people, do you think we're alone in the universe? And they go, oh, no, not at all. And you go, and then you start going on about like Zeta Regalian contracts, and then it's like, whoa, you're weird, you know. So we have to, and that's why humans aren't ready. So we have to start. How do we deliver this information in a way, and the truthful information? Because there's lots of stories out there, and so you know, Law of One, the Templar Creed, the Christic, yeah. So cool. Hit me up if you've got any questions and share. You know, if you think it's going to help someone, that's my service. Because I just do these for me to store them in my brain. I'm studying. I write stuff down, if it can help someone, then that's a good thing. So we can all lift our frequencies and all be vibrating. Remember, because we've got till November 23 to pick a timeline, because we're just going to like probably not see each other anymore. So yes.